when they done this, they weren't thinking about the religion at all. They were thinking about what other people might think, you know.
Yeah, it's a very good point to make, that it isn't about the religion, it's actually about
it's not. I don't blame the religion, whatever happened. I do not blame anything, you know, that happens in Asian communities. It's to do with religion, it's the culture. And it's easy to blame the religion, you know, but that's reality. It's us that's doing it.
Do you know what? Thank you so much for calling in this afternoon. There you go. Thank you. Sheila in Manchester. Tanzina, good afternoon. Tanzina?
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm okay, thank you.
Cool. What would you like to say?
I just want to say, basically, I'm a Muslim and I'm a Bengali.
Right.
Basically, Bengali is basically in our culture. We're not allowed to marry our cousins. So it's not a religious thing. It's more like a cultural or each other's family preferences.
Right, okay, I didn't know that. So you're actually not allowed to marry your first cousin?
Yeah, because we're Bengalis, we were brought up as your cousin, as your own brothers and sisters, regardless of obviously they're not your immediate family. You're still your cousin brother, cousin sister, so we're not allowed to marry them. Okay, certain Bengalis probably do, back home countries they probably do, but here we're not allowed to marry because we can't like them or anything. You can't marry them. We marry outside the family, so I wouldn't say it's a religious thing, or you have to, or obviously, as I said, you have to. It's nothing to do with that. It's basically cultural.
Yeah. Oh no. Mr. Malik made that clear from the start that it's permissible in Islam, but it's not a duty. You don't have to do it at all. But it's great that you called in just to say, from your own perspective, from a Bengali community perspective, that it isn't something that's acceptable at all. So you certainly, I mean, your parents wouldn't even suggest it to you.
Yeah, they wouldn't even suggest it. On top of that, I think one of my friends who liked one of her cousins, it's like a second or third cousin brothers, it's not like first immediate family, but she wasn't allowed to marry him because in relation, he's still her cousin brother, even though it's far, or a couple of steps away, she couldn't marry him.
So, Tazina, what's the reasoning behind that? Do you know why you're not allowed to marry you?
We know, and we've heard, and we don't know if it's true about, you know how you say in genetics, the kids come out from disorders.
Right.
Based on that, we're not allowed to marry them, but we don't know if it's true or not. But,
so that must be quite a recent thing then. That's not something going back centuries, that presumably it happened. It must be a recent thing, and it must be a thing in the West.
I've actually heard this for like 5 years ago, that about the, you know, like the blood disorder, if you get married to immediate family. I've actually heard that. So that's the only reason I know that we're not allowed to marry first cousin.
Tanzina, thank you very much for getting in contact this afternoon. Varsha in Essex texted in to say cousin marriages should be illegal. Not only are there genetic problems, but family feuds are more likely if the couple in question experience marital problems. That's what Varsha in Essex believes. Yes, marriages within the family are sick! ! They should do everything to stop things like this happening. I know a few women who married their cousins and all 4 kids are disabled. Shaz said, hi, you made a comment saying it's going to upset Muslims. I just want to clarify that cousin marriage is a cultural issue, not a religious one. Islam encourages you to marry outside of the family. Therefore, it is a Pakistani cultural issue, not religious. Please read this out. Well, I agree with you, Shaz, but also, as Mr. Malik pointed out, that it is permissible in Islam. It is acceptable in Islam to do it. Not a duty, but it is acceptable, and that's Mr. Malik that made that point, not me. Okay, Rashid has emailed in. You can do the same, nihal@bbc.co.uk. Say, sick and tired of this MP and other so-called community leaders justifying their position and ensuring the existence of their position, and of course lapping up the publicity in the process. The government cannot be responsible for every quibble in every community. Sick of the amount of funding taken from the government under the banner of equal opportunities and political correctness. Yes, without doubt there needs to be awareness of this or any similar such problem. Where do our community leaders and, for example, trustees of mosques and temples take all that money? Friday prayers, Sunday gatherings. Surely these community groups can quite easily raise awareness of these issues. Maybe they could go further and actually address the real issues in our communities, such as arranged marriages, disillusioned youth, all unqualified and drugged up with nowhere to go. There, Rashid pointing a particularly bleak picture of the British Asian community. Okay, Asim in Bournemouth waiting on the line. I will come to you, Asim, in a little while. I want to hear from you. Cousin marriages. Should the government be campaigning against them? Or is it not the government's job to be doing this? Should religious leaders, community leaders be doing this? And not spending more taxpayers' money on campaigning against something which is actually a very niche issue to the Pakistani community, if you'll believe the research that Baroness Deach is going to be quoting in a speech later this week. And I'll just remind you of that research, okay? Pakistani families in the UK only account for 3% of all the births here in this country, okay? Now, 1 in 3 of all children born with a genetic problem, that's 33%, is from a Pakistani background. So,